Hey everyone, this is the LEGO City People Pack for Space Research and Development. This comes with 14 minifigures, or 15 depending upon how you count them, and a bunch of builds. Let's actually take a look at the builds first and then go through all the figures. This almost nondescript lump of stuff is exactly what it looks like. Just a bit of random terrain that you can use to represent a slight bit of some other planet's surface, or it can be just a training facility where it's on Earth but simulating the environment elsewhere where you're going to go. And the highlight here is the inclusion of one geode, or at least a half a geode, and those are just wonderful pieces. With the dual molding, got some glitter in there, let some light come through, and it looks really cool. The other half is also included in the set, so let's move on. And there it is now. It's on probably, I'd say, a scale on the side, and then there's a computer. So if this is a computer cart with a scale, or you could imagine that being whatever you want it to be, but it looks like a scale to me. And the other half of the geode is there, so you can create a complete one, and that's it for this. It's just a cart. This is a rocket motor test stand, and the rocket motor is being tested right now. See? Fire is coming out. Yeah, this thing spins all around, so that's probably not ideal. And if you want to imagine this being either a really small rocket or micro scale, then just pop it off and fly it into space. And that's that. Do I seem like I'm rushing? Because I'm not. These are just really small builds, so there's no point in talking about each one for several minutes or anything. This is a little bit more interesting to me. It's a treadmill. So you put a figure on there wherever you want, and they go running to do some cardio tests or some cardio improvement. Yeah, I think it looks good. It's really, really simple, but I think it works well. I think the only thing that would have made this better would have been the use of a couple grill pieces instead to make it look, well, I guess this looks more like a solid belt here. I don't know, it's fine. This is nicer still. This is a growing pod for test plants, and I like this. I like this a lot. They have the different colors that are included, so the lamp doesn't just have just a single clear bulb, so they're showing you that they're testing the effects of different light quality on the growth of this particular plant. And it's nice that you can articulate this, get it out of the way, you can rotate it around, change those out, or just leave them off completely if you want it to be a different type of lamp. And you can open this up as well. That's actually pretty cool. A very nice small build, and I appreciate the parts that are used for this. This is essentially a radio-controlled helicopter, which may have some autonomous flight abilities, but yeah, it's just a small thing that's able to fly around, and this is based on an actual project that NASA is working on for use on Mars, of all places. There's evidently enough atmosphere there to actually use aerodynamic lift, which is interesting even in such a small package. So I'm surprised that that's real, but this is a fine representation of one in a very small scale that still looks reasonable, and you can still spin up the rotors. This is a very small representation of one of those giant centrifuges for training and testing pilots to acclimate them to high G maneuvers. And the idea there is that you put these two on their backs, and then you spin this for all it's worth. Spin it up, spin it up, spin it up, and your little pilots to be either make it or they don't. Looks like this one's not going to make it. This one is going to make it, but this guy over here, well, we'll look at the figures later on. But I mean, this is a simple enough thing. It's not realistic at all the way that they're set up, but you get the idea. Here's a stack of pizza boxes. That is a single printed tile on the top, and then just jumpers beneath, and a garbage can for this guy to throw up in, I'm assuming. And then there's this thing. Now this gets a little bit more exciting. Let me first show you just the base. It's simple enough. It has two printed tiles on it, but this is a good time to transition over to the figures. And I don't know if you want to consider this a figure or not, but let's take a closer look. This is a robot, a bipedal robot, which uses a Hero Factory minifigure armor piece, and then good old Exoforce arms and hands. And then there's a skeleton or roboskeleton skeleton beneath there, and skeleton or roboskeleton legs to go with it. It's just a mix-up of a whole bunch of different things from different themes, and I think it looks very good. They have an actual modern, most recent astronaut helmet on the top, and then that's just a minifig head with no printing on it beneath in the new pearl gold. So I think this thing is really cool. You can move the arms up and down, the hands can be rotated, and they can hold on to things. And it's got anti-studs on the feet, so this just is very useful, I think. Here are a couple of bipedal mammals, and primates to be specific, and one of them appears to be a jokester, because he's got an alien head mask that he's carrying around for some practical joke purposes, and you just see he's got that huge satisfied with himself laugh going on. And both of these use the exact same torso, hip, and leg prints with the new astronaut helmet, same one that was used on the robot, and older style, classic style air tanks. Both of these have alternate faces, which is always great to see. It's not the most common thing in LEGO City, but it's becoming more common these days. And for each of these, I'm so happy to report they include a hairpiece as well, so you don't need to have them helmet on. You can take the helmets off and put hair on them. I really appreciate that, and I'm always going to call it out as a positive thing because they haven't done that very much in the past, and I think they have needed to, and they're starting to do it more and more, and it just adds so much. It just helps so much. Plus, you can use those hair pieces for other figures as well, and this guy doesn't need to be holding onto a mask with a stick, a pole attached to it. Oh, that was convenient. Just came right off. This is an actual minifigure head, and you just put it right on him. Here are two other astronauts with completely different looks. The one on the left is intended to be somebody who's in the present and who's either training for or involved in a spacewalk. I like what they did with the add-on piece there, adding a couple of thruster exhausts onto it, and also whatever this thing is here on the side, a light and or a camera that's built in. That works very well, nice and compact. They also have a handheld camera. The one on the right is intended to be a member of a future future space program for exploration, and possibly trying to be the first person on Mars. I mean, the orange colored visor is very nice. That's a new color for that. And if you want, you could just stand that guy on top of this lump of terrain and have him holding the flag to be, the person who plants the flag at the location. There's only one included in this set with that color scheme, but I like the fact that they've given us some variety, even amongst just astronauts. Of course, as soon as I say that, I regret it, saying just astronauts. I mean, they're probably some of the most advanced jobs on the planet and off the planet as well. But, in Lego form, usually they're just all given the same uniform. And so it's nice to see that variety. You've already seen these two, but here's a closer look at them. These have the exact same torsos, which is absolutely appropriate here. It's just a luxury when we do get different outfits, but it's important to have some that are the same as well, I think. And this just lets you see those prints better, as well as the fact that this guy has a not throwing up face, so he can actually achieve some success as well. And there's no alternate face for her, so she doesn't have the ability to go into that mode. Would have been nice to have a completely different expression for both of these, but at least one of them does. It's better than none. You already saw this guy on the left as well. He's the one that I put on the treadmill briefly. And on the right is possibly his trainer, nutrition, doctor. I'm not sure exactly what she's supposed to be, but certainly there are multiple possibilities. And she has a pizza on essentially a pizza on a stick. It's just dangling from a string to offer motivation to him. So, and she also has the megaphone to get him going. So he's going to be just going as hard as he possibly can to try to get the reward, because I guess he's very, very hungry and doesn't get a lot of carbs probably at this point. But you also have this satisfied face, which surprisingly isn't like super happy, just because I guess they had to use that particular face to get this expression. But would have been cool if he had a new expression of just enjoying life after actually getting the pizza. Here are a couple more employees in uniforms, so they have the exact same uniform between the two of them, but very different looks. Got that nice rare dark blue color for the toolbox, and the welder's helmet is unprinted, or essentially unprinted, doesn't have any special design on it or anything. So it's just the original style, dual molded helmet or hat, construction work, hard hat, I should say, and hair on the left. All important coffee mug, got to have one of those to really make a city set proper, to make it legitimate. Otherwise, you have to wonder if it's real, if it's proper. They did a really cool thing with the alternate face for the one on the left. The guy, his mustache is just out of control, but I'm gonna have to remove this briefly so that you can see this face. That is so cool. It's so rare that you see Lego displaying a female character who's dirty, who isn't just completely clean. So, to have her with all the smoke and soot and debris on her face from evidently testing the rocket motor and getting a little bit too close to it is just good to see, just letting everybody enjoy every possible emotion in Lego form, and also both the ups and downs of regular life. Here we have a reporter and a cameraman, and this pairing is distinct and interesting to me, because typically when they do this sort of thing, one of them is male and one is female, and usually it's a female reporter because they've had that red reporter badge torso that's female specific for quite some time. So to just have two dudes working together to do a news report is different, and I like that. They need to do more different stuff for the sake of being different, just to not always repeat the exact same tropes all the time. So this is cool. The microphone there is all black, which is also cool. Even with no paint application, I still like the fact that it's not that common. And the cameraman gets an alternate expression, which is great. It's so expressive, and that's when he gets duped by the astronaut who has the alien mask, the alien face. So when he sees that, then he thinks, oh my goodness, there's an actual alien! He's totally tricked by it. So that's great. Just more different expressions, different emotions to be expressed and all. Yeah, this works out well for me. The printing for the guy on the left, though, take a good look at that. Take a good look at that face. Notice the white is just too high up and possibly too big. It's a little bit weird, just a little bit of a misprint. Not a big deal, though. That does happen sometimes, and I'm okay with an occasional mistake. These are the last two figures, and the one on the right can be almost anything. I think she's intended here to be paired up with the computer cart, and she has the magnifying glass to look more closely at the geode, which I forgot to mention is easy to rotate around because it's on the 2x2 jumper, so I can just spin it around on that, and then it makes more sense for her to be looking at it, from the cut open side. But I think that's just a very useful torso, and like I said, there are just many different roles that you can assign to her. On the left, the clean room technician is great to see, and she has a remote control unit to deal with the helicopter or rotor drone thing. It's remote controlled, so it's not really a drone. It's not autonomous, although it may have an autonomous mode. Anyway, she has the controller for it, and she can do any kind of work in the clean room. She can be testing that, take that controller away, and have her setting up a satellite, packing it up to be sent away. She can be working on the bipedal robot. It's just, whatever you want to do in a clean room. It's just a super useful figure for so many different things. Pretty good print on that torso, for something that's fairly plain. It's just white, but they got a lot of the little fabric marks in it, little folds and everything. No alternate face for that one. They could have done one. It's a great opportunity. Oh, you know what would have been ideal for that, now that I think about it? I don't... Have they ever done it? Just imagine if they had a female face for the one on the left, a female face and a male face. then you could have that much more variety if you get multiple of this figure. They need to think about that. It might require a little bit of bravery. They might have a little bit of issue with people being weird about it, but I think that it would be a really good idea. Let me know what you think about that idea. And that's the set. 14 or 15 people, depending upon whether you count the robot, for $40 US. The usual price for these, as usual, price to part ratio is dumb to look at or think about for something like this, because so much of this is minifigs, and like a minifig torso is worth a lot more than a dark tan 1x1 cheese slope. A lot more. So yeah, this is just normal in terms of value. You know, honestly, I could do without probably half of these side builds. Like, this is uninteresting to me to the max. This is pretty uninteresting. You can use it at least as a figure stand, like for that. You know, I can see it having some value. This is really cool. It just looks good. This is useful too. Super useful. This is nice, but a little bit forgettable. This is cool. Okay, so not half of them. Never mind. It's mostly this, I guess. I'm not that interested in, but also this. I get it. It'll probably be fun for some kids to play with, but for its number of pieces, I feel like this and this could have been integrated together. You know, their parts budget could have been put together to make something cooler for this set. I'll just put it that way. The rest of the stuff, I guess, is pretty cool. Yeah, there you go. If you want to see how all of these figures and the small builds went together, I have a full-length, real-time, pure build that I've done. And I also have the speed build that'll take you through the exact same full process, just more quickly. You can check those out. I will link to them right now. Talk to you again soon.